now we're going to buy our first house, which is actually a condominium. And it's going to be purchased on January 1st, 2024, 275,000, 5% down payment. That's all we can afford. And all we can afford is a 30-year mortgage, a 5-year fixed rate of 5.34%, paid once every 2 weeks at the beginning of 30 years for a 30-year mortgage. So back to our budget. The amount that we pay every year is going to go into this column AV4, but we're going to calculate how much we pay every payment, and what the cost is going to be at the end of 5 years, because we're going to sell the condo, how much it's going to be worth for 5 years. We're going to do that on another sheet. So how to get another sheet? It's Shift F11 is creating a new sheet. So to do that, Shift F11, and then to name it, I'm going to go F6 to get down to the bottom, and then menu, R for rename, I'm going to call it house, enter. And then to move it to the end where I'd like it, I want budget first, I'm going to go F6 again to get down to the bottom, menu, M for move, end to be the bottom, move to the end, and then enter to OK that. And then I'm going to first I'm going to keep track of the value of the condo. So I'm going to type in year up here in cell A1, enter, and then 2024 for A2. And then after that, I'm going to make a formula equal what it was last year plus 1, enter. And next, I'm going to keep track of the condo. And the condo is $275,000 in 2024. And it's going to increase by inflation, equal what it was last year times INF for inflation, tab to accept that, enter. And I'm going to, both the year in A3, shift, and across to the condo, I'm going to keep holding shift. I'm going to go down to line 7 and autofill it, Control D, because line 7 is when we're going to eventually sell the condo, and I can see now that it's worth $311,000. So then I'm actually going to leave another column for the next townhouse that I'm going to put there eventually. But then I'm going to go over to cell E1 where I'm going to type in the house price. This is where I'm going to do all my calculations for the mortgage for this house. And the next thing I want is the down payment, percent, and then just the down payment. Now it's auto-filling in the same as what's above, a down payment percent, but I'm going to type in the word down payment and then hit delete to get rid of the percent that it wishes to add to that. And then enter, and then mortgage. And I'm going to make this as wide as the widest one, down payment percent, Alt HOI. Okay. So the price is equal to the $275,000 in B2. The down payment is 5%. I'm just going to type that in. The down payment percent is 5%. The down payment is a formula which is equal to the house price. I'm going to go up to F1. And then multiplied, which is asterisk, and then up 1 to the 5%. So 13,750. And I'm going to record that in my budget. So I'm going to go Alt or Control, page up to budget. And in the large payments, this is where I do my down payment stuff. I'm going to go equal and then Control, page down, and I'm going to go to this down payment, enter. And you'll see that my bank account has gone down a bit. You might think I have more to pay, but I still have all my mortgage payments. So I'm going to deal with that now. Control, page down. The mortgage is whatever is the house price minus the down payment. So it's equal house price in F1 minus, and then up to down payment in F3, enter. So it's $261,250 mortgage. So I'm going to leave a gap and I go down to E6 and type in the year. This is going to be a formula where I'm going to ask what year is the next column in. So it's going to go equal year, open bracket, what is in the next column, which is going to be the date in a minute, and then close bracket. At first it's 1900 because if there is no date, the default date, or what 0 is January 1st, 1900. It's going to update in a minute, don't worry. Then the next thing is the date. So the first date we're buying this is 1 and then space JAN for January, space 2024, enter. And it's converted into a date format, and I like this date format. It works for me, DD hyphen MMM hyphen YY, so that works. So that's the date, and then I'm going to have the payment, and I'm going to fill in this formula in a minute because I need to see where the numbers are going to be. I'll come back to the formula in a minute. And then interest and capital. So the interest is how much of that payment is going into the interest to the bank. And the next one is how much is going to the capital, paying off the loan. The next one is how much we still have owing. And then I'm going to put my rate after that. So this rate is going to be 5.34%. And now I can do my payment for this first row, equal because a payment, Excel tries to be helpful by, since it knows it's a payment, it's going to automatically make it a negative number. But I don't want it to be a negative number. My formula is pointing to a number and it's making it, subtracting it, so I already am dealing with this. I need this to be a positive number. So to counterbalance that, I'm going to put a negative sign at the beginning of the formula. And then PMT is the payment formula. There it is. I can see it in the list. I'm going to hit tab to accept it. And the first thing they want to know is the rate. So that's, I'm going to go over to K7 where the rate is. And I don't even need to F4 this because I'm not copying this down. The formula below this payment is going to just be referring to this payment because it's always staying the same for the whole 5 years. So the rate is the rate, but this is the annual rate where each payment is every 2 weeks. So there's 52 weeks in a year, and divide that by 2 is 26. So there's 26 payments in 1 year. So I'm going to divide this by 26, comma. The next thing they want to know is how many periods are there. So it's a 30-year mortgage, so 30, and then I'm multiplying it by that number of payments per year, that 26 again, comma. The present value, what is the amount of the mortgage? And that is in cell F4, okay? Then comma, what is going to be the future value? Theoretically, it's going to be 0. I'm actually going to sell it, so I'm never going to pay off the mortgage all the way. But I'm going to pay it off by paying it. But to make this formula work, put 0 for the future value. And then comma, is it paid at the end or the beginning? If you remember, it's the beginning. So it's a 1 we put here. And then close bracket. So that's how much our mortgage payments are going to be, $670 every 2 weeks. The interest is equal to this interest rate, and I'm also not going to F4 this, you'll see why in just a sec, divided by the 26, because that's an annual rate, but this is per payment, is divided by 26, multiplied by the mortgage. Enter. So that's the interest. Capital is equal to whatever this payment is minus how much we have to pay to the bank for interest, and that's how much we're actually paying off the loan. And then the owing is going to be equal to how much the original mortgage is in F4 minus how much we paid off this term, this capital in I7. Enter. Good. Now the second row, we have to make, the first row was special because it's has a different formulas. The second one, most of them except for capital is a different formula. So, and year. So year is the same. So I'm going to go up to the year, shift down, and then Control D to be the same. Then the date is going to go equal, and then whatever it was last payment plus 14 days. Enter. See how the year is now updated. The payment is equal to whatever it was last time. It's going to be the same. Enter. And the interest, though, is equal to the interest rate, and this time I am F4ing it. I'm going to F4 it twice, and the reason is I'm going to copy all these formulae over to the right for the townhouse, and I want it to be able to have its own rate. So the F4 it twice, divided by 26, and then multiply this time not by the mortgage in F4, but by how much is owing on the previous payment. And ever after this will be true. So enter. Capital is the same. I'm just going to shift down one, Control D to autofill it down. Owing, though, is equal to what it was in the last payment minus how much we're paying off. The capital has been paid off in this payment. There. Now this second row is the one that can be auto-filled down. I found out it's to row 137. I'm going to fill it down to 138 just so you can see that we're finished the 5 years. So shift, and I'm going to go, while I'm holding shift, I'm going to go page down, all the way to the 130. There's 133, and I'm just going to mouse it down. 137 is the actual one I'm going to be using in a sec, but I'm just going to go to 138 just to show you. And then let go of shift, Control D. And some of these dates are too wide, are not wide enough. So I'm going to go to one of the pound sign ones and Alt HOI. Okay, that one fixed. How about this? Alt HOI. That seems to be good. And go end down. And so you'll see that the last payment, the Christmas Day 2028, is the 5th year. The next one is the next year, January 8th. And we're going to sell our condo at the end of the previous year so that in January 8th, we're going to be paying a different amount for the townhouse. So I'm just going to delete that row from here, shift and across, and then delete because I don't want it to be referred to in, I'm going to go control page up, in our budget page. Here's where in AV4, where the house payments are going to be recorded. So this is where I'm going to make the sum if, which is say sum all the ones that are in this year 2024. So equal sum if. And then I see it there in the list. I'm going to hit tab to accept it. And the first question is, what is the range that we're searching for? We're going to look for all the 2024s in. And where that is on the next 2 pages down. So I'm going to hold Control, page down, and I'm going to go Control Home to get to the top of the page. And I'm going to go to the very first year that's recorded in cell E7. This is the range I want you to look in. And on E7, I'm going to hold down Shift, then the End key, and then the Down key. So all of those. And now I'm going to let go of Shift. I'm going to F4 that to freeze that the E7 to E137. Freeze that, comma. The next one is the criteria. And that's going to control page up to go into the budget sheet. And I'm going to go Control Home on this sheet, and then to the left one, what the criteria is, I'm saying when it is 2024, all the ones that are in house E7 to E137 that are 2024, those are the ones I want you to add up to sum, comma. And then the question is sum range. What is the range in the house page that we are summing? Because we're not summing the years, how many years ago, we're summing the payments. So go Control page down, go Control Home to get to the top, and go into payment. This is cell G7. And Shift End down, and then F4 this for the same reason. And then close brackets. So look in the house page on the E column and look at all the years. Then find what year we're interested in. Right now it's 2024. And then give us the sum of all the payment ones in the G column that are in that same row. Now I'm going to hit the Enter key to accept this. And so the first year, it's 18,113. Now, when I autofill this down for the other 5 years, so 4 more years down, and go Control D, you'll see that the other years are a little bit less. That's because where the week ends up on what year that week is in is sometimes there's one more week, sometimes there's the same week. So most of them are the same, but the first one is actually 2024 ends up having one more week payment. So that's why it's different. And that is all we need to do for the first house. I'm just going to go Control S to save our work.